we've all been looking forward to today for months and months, ever since we found out FliteBrite was finally ready to come in and pitch. So I know everybody's been excited. I'm not going to take up any more time. So let's get on our feet for these guys. It's been a long time coming. Let's give it up for
Boy, I'm used to the MC, so we can skip all that, right? We're good. All right. Well, it's great to have everyone here. I enjoy this so much. 1 million cups and the community that we have here is really special to me personally, and I know it is for a lot of us as well. And so when you are up here and you get to experience so many different entrepreneurs and what they're building, it's humbling and a really neat opportunity for us to finally be able to expose what we've been building for the last 2.5 years. And so today is a special day for FliteBrite, a special day for the team, and a special day for Des Moines. So we're excited to be here. Let's get this party started. As I said, we are FliteBrite. I don't know how deep we need to go into the story, but let's just get straight into the problem. So what is the problem that we are solving? Let's see if my clicker can work. Then we'll solve that problem. Where am I?
Want me to run it?
There we go. All right. We're safe. All right, so take a look at this slide and think back. Close your eyes and sip your beer. Think back to the last time that you had a flight of craft beer. You're sitting in front of this wall of beers, and you might know one, you might know a few, but as this flight arrives, think about how quickly you forget which one is which. Shake your head because everyone else does. It happens to all of us. You forget what beer is which, and you might hate one, you might love one, but who knows what to order next? Let alone, you go into the Hy-Vee and, oh, I have no idea what I liked. That number 5 at the brewery doesn't do it for me anymore. And so that's the problem that we are about to solve. Because along with having the ability to know what you're drinking, the serving aspect still needs to be taken care of. You've probably all seen the paddles. The current state of the art is chalkboard, paper and pen, or a paddle with no information. And so along with being able to transport these to your table, which is a good first start, this is the future, my friends. We have created the world's first electronic beer flight paddle. This is an opportunity for you to not only see what you are drinking, but to learn more about it with some more details on the beer. Share it with friends. It's unlocking a new level of customer connectivity for breweries, restaurants, beer pubs, and bars. We're super excited about what you see here. This is a fully functioning prototype. You're welcome to take a peek at some of them afterwards. I'll let Sinclair show off the exciting model that we actually are going to share with you today. But let's take a peek. That's how it rolls. Special shout out. I know the Studio IO guys are in the house. That thing looked great. We had a good time going to Peachtree. Turns out the customer discovery for this product has been pretty fun. So thinking about the product itself, what is it going to do? Quantifying the value. We like to start with entertainment. This is a social experience when you're out at a brewery or a restaurant. You're enjoying the food and the beverages and the friends that you're around. And so without getting in the way, we found a way to balance technology in a way that will allow us to entertain you a little bit, but also educate you. Educational entertainment is kind of hot. people like being connoisseurs of whatever they like. This is a world of weird, and we like to fuel that. And so as we've been building this product, it's been, 3 primary pillars have been the most important things to consider. Time is money in the food and beverage industry, right? And so definitely have to make this thing fast, not only for the staff, but also for the consumer. Durability, it's crazy behind the bar, let alone when we get overserved. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely something that needs to hold up on the durability front. And last but not least, and I think this is one of my favorite aspects of it, is the customer connectivity. Being able to literally develop a unique URL for every single flight that comes out allows us to do something pretty special. It allows us to showcase every single flight that's ever served with its own unique URL that is associated with the flight that you're enjoying. And so that 4 beers that you really like and you'd like to share it on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, turns out it's 1 link away, preloaded. You can change it if you want. But now think of what that does for the brewery or for the establishment. All of a sudden, they're getting mentioned because they're preloaded post. And the beers are accurately named because it's all fueled from Untapped. It's a pretty exciting thing when you consider kind of tapping into the virality of something that people already enjoy sharing. And so we're super excited about our development focus and potentially even more excited about this crazy market that we all learned about last week.
You might think Ben does this like every week or something. You're pretty polished, man. Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about the market. I'm not going to bore you guys with the market. As you guys probably know, enjoying beers, it's a continuously growing industry. Craft beer is super popular, and there's craftsmen all over the nation that are looking to showcase their beers, and that's what FliteBrite offers here. So skip through the market. I'm sure they'll hear about market with Brewed, and they'll hear about it with the other guys too. Just go ahead to the next slide.
I know. I'll give him a second to see it, and then we can move on.
All right.
Did all this work.
So as Ben was kind of alluding to, customer discovery has been pretty fun. In fact, we were doing some customer discovery yesterday at Global Brew, but we've been able and fortunate to get out to a bunch of different partners here in the Des Moines area. Some of them here today. Exile, Fong's, 300 Rooftop. Jake was very instrumental in closing Granite City, so that's a pretty big opportunity for us to roll out in 3 locations: Cedar Rapids, Davenport, and Des Moines. So we're kind of going to approach this from somewhat of like a beta test initially, get feedback. We've got a beta test that starts next week that Ben will tell you guys about a little bit. Get the first 100 to 200, 300 units out there and continue iterating the design and prepare it for full-on production. So the model, we thought really hard about this, and we were fortunate we had some mentors. Mike Colwell was involved in this conversation, but we talked about how are we going to sell this thing and what was going to be interesting, and really knock down the barrier to allow people to bring this on and utilize our paddles. And so we went with the lease model. And so the lease model allows even your smallest brewery to justify the paddle. If they can justify selling a growler or selling just a couple pints as this, as a product of the improved experience that FliteBrite offers, then you can easily justify bringing some paddles in-house. And so we do it all the way from 10 paddles to 30, and it varies from $15 all the way up to $25 per month. So it's really a pretty low barrier to entry for some of these small breweries, and it allows even the larger breweries to get locked in as well.
I can tell you a little bit about some of the technology we have here. I don't know if you guys kind of looked at these a little bit, but we've got a variety of prototypes here. These are kind of older models that are machined out of solid pieces of plastic. This is a 3D printed version of our actual product.
First look.
Yeah. Except last night at but the tooling for injection molding this is done today. So we're going to start full-scale production of this very, very soon. But each paddle has a color touchscreen and a Wi-Fi enabled microcontroller on board, and waterproof USB port, waterproofing around the screen. So that should be pretty durable. But it's all easy to use, just touchscreen, easy to manage. And we also have a back-end dashboard for all of the establishments that use it. This allows you to manage your menu, set up preset flights, view statistics on what has been served, set up your paddles, all kinds of cool stuff. The data that you're going to be able to get out of this is going to be phenomenal. And maybe we'll go to that.
Untap, maybe.
Yeah. We'll go to the next one.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So how many of you guys use Untapped?
Nice.
Cool.
Nice. Nice.
If you don't like beer, you should try it. It's really cool. They have like 3.5 million users. So we actually have a special partnership with them that we've put together that allows us to use their database to power our menu system. So if you're in an establishment, you can set up your menu just by searching in our system, which searches Untapped and brings down all the data they have, the description, the name, the ABV, IBU, anything you need, which you can then edit and display on the paddles. It's a really cool connection, and we also can link out to let you rate through Untapped and all kinds of cool stuff. So.
Very nice, very nice. God, I love when he talks. When you got a wizard on your team, it's fun to just brainstorm, I promise you that.
Credibility, right?
That's right, good man, good man, good man. Hey, so as you think about this, who else likes more things than beer? Maybe you like cheese or scotch or wine or sushi. What if this technology was protected in a way that it could scale outside of craft beer? We understand the value of staying super focused, right? So maintaining our eye on craft beer is what we're doing right now. But the way we've built this, the way we've protected this, it allows us to scale into any industry. And so that's something that's super exciting. And I think it's required when you have that type of opportunity to have a proper team. We talk about teams as entrepreneurs on a weekly basis, and it's almost one of the most important things. And I really am probably the most thankful that this combination came together. Usually I feel like you would have to pick from different areas of the country to have the type of skill set that we have here at FliteBrite. I kind of take care of the innovation, the brand development, the marketing side of things. Ethan is a manufacturing guru. He has past work in full carbon fiber bicycles. He's now over at Baratech in Cedar Rapids doing some really neat manufacturing work, and that's critical. You don't want to send a product out and get a bunch of fires, So you have to make sure that this is not the Note 7, in case no one knows that joke, and we're hoping to send these things out in a way that they'll never come back. And the key to doing that is making them really durable. And then I mentioned the wizard and the magician here on our team. Sinclair has done a beautiful job of bringing this thing to life. Some of you in the early days might have seen the original embodiment, which was really cool. But when we transitioned over to a touchscreen, and Sinclair really got his hands involved, the online dashboard came to life. The touchscreen is just so fast and responsive. He's done a really good job. His background is in software, but I remember we were enjoying Miami Vices on your birthday when I shared this idea, and he's like, I've been looking for a reason to make this hobby a business. And so Ethan and I were kind of the first two co-founders. Worked with a handful of folks in the beginning just to see if this was even possible. And then when we met Sinclair, it was a perfect mix. Most recently, Jake joined the group. He is actually our Minnesota representative. He's up in Minneapolis doing his thing. Turns out they like beer up there quite a bit as well.
True.
And so it's neat to have what's become a friend as the fourth addition to the FliteBrite team. And that's not going to stop because this is what's coming. I definitely have been waiting a long time to be standing in front of my community and being able to share FliteBrite with the Des Moines tech and startup world. But this is going to be our formal unveiling nationwide. The Craft Brewers Conference is in DC this year. I was able to attend the Philadelphia one last year to kind of scope it out. And that gave me an opportunity to see how this was going to work. And so we're going in there super prepared. It was a disappointing window that we missed by not being able to have our booth and really unveil it last year, but it was the right decision. We talk about not being able to be new more than once. You can only be new once. And so I remember the conversation over pizza. We decided that was not going to happen, so I still was able to make it, but we decided to keep it a little hidden. And so DC in April, you guys will definitely have to stay tuned as we launch FliteBrite nationwide in April. And I truly believe that we will come back as a different company after that event. Now, in the meantime, turns out, I don't know if RJ's here in the crowd. He might have had to slip out. RJ from Exile was the one that was graciously pouring some brews this morning. Hopefully you enjoyed those gold rim glasses. I think that's the best way to decide or drink craft beer. But October 15th, we're actually collaborating. I see George is in the audience. We're collaborating with the University of Iowa. And the MBA students are doing a research project to continue quantifying the value that FliteBrite brings. And so what you end up with is an opportunity to bring what you see here, some prototypes. There'll only be a couple of them for now, but in the wild at Exile starting on the 15th. And so I won't go into too much depth about the project, but in short, we have 1 week that we're doing all of our research, sharing some surveys, and looking at kind of the state of now, and then transitioning to the future of these electronic flight paddles and how they not only impact beer sales, but the social aspects are going to be really fun to watch. And so I would invite everyone to stop by Exile starting on Saturday to check these out for yourself. But as we know, the moment we shut up, the value begins. And so that's the best part of 1 million cups, and I think we should get that party started right about now. What do you think of FliteBrite, though? All right.
In the neon future, life will have opportunity to explore its limitless diversity. Life will have no boundaries.